Good evening, everyone. My name is Jordan Jackson. I will be presenting my research proposal. So, my research question is: should creative writing be taught in high school? And the way I'm going to show that is by taking a look at the effects of creative writing on students' writing skills and their personal life. So, my hypothesis is that through the through the research process, I believe there will be a noticeable increase in students' writing ability, a boost in confidence, and there will be a positive impact on their day-to-day life. During my time teaching a creative writing class, I noticed an improvement in those areas for my students, and with documentation of it, I can prove that creative writing should be offered at more schools. So for the literature review, I highlighted 3 areas for context of my research. So for that, it is what a creative writing class is, benefits of creative writing, and rubrics. So first, let's start off with what is creative writing. The key elements of creative writing revolve around creativity, unique symbolism, personal expression, and originality. Wayne, 2019. In education, creative writing studies composition, language usage, and technical writing. Wang, 2019. When studied at school, creative writing also looks, it involves fiction, poetry, and creative nonfiction. A writing class has prompts or writing exercises to sharpen the precision and necessity of word use, constructive critiques from other writers and classmates, focus writing instructions from a master of the craft, and a creative space to explore new ideas and writing techniques. So, benefits of creative writing. Glatch, 2019, states that by writing and sharing their work, students improve their communication, learn and practice essential writing skills, improve thinking skills, increase empathy, all while having fun. I think it's most important that to highlight the fact that they're having fun, because when you have student engagement, it will increase learning all around. Um, Students can find community and strength by sharing their stories through writing. Oftentimes in a creative writing class, it's it's a very small class. Like you have like 20 students. Like if you're in college, in high school you may go up to like 30. But typically it's a smaller class, so you build a real community with people around you, especially doing feedback. Um, Research shows that having students publish their work inspires them to write and take pride in their work. Um, Also, in a study, it showed that students using digital comics improved the students' writing creativity level more than the class that didn't. That was in a second grade class. But I think even showing, even at a young age, giving them creative writings help them understand things better. And then rubrics. Rubrics are a specialized type of checklist that tells students what a complete assignment should include, but also contains information about how the teacher will determine a student's grade. I personally love rubrics. They help me know exactly what is being looked for, what I need to study up on, what terms I should understand before going into a project. Rubrics help the teacher gauge their own grading to keep it consistent while enabling them to give more insightful feedback and assess learners' writing ability. Rubrics are usually pretty detailed, in terms of what gets you each associated number with it. So whether you're like a 5, which would be above average, which would actually, it would be excellent. 4 would be above average, 3 average. Anything like that explains it out to you. And it's helpful as a teacher because then it keeps your grading consistent and keeps bias out of it because you've already detailed out what you're looking for, and so it's less likely to change teacher to teacher. I mean, student to student. In a study by Bradford, Newland, and Rule 2016, it was shown that rubrics helped first and second graders improve their writing scores. All right, so my research plan. In order to complete my research, I would need to teach 2 creative writing classes over the course of a high school year. This could also be substituted with 1. I also based all of this off of a block schedule. So block schedule, your students are in each class for 1 term, 2 quarters, 1 term, and then they switch out. So it would only be 1 school year, and you would get a whole new set of students. So I'd be able to see more students. The classes I imagine to be filled with 20 to 30 students out of various backgrounds and levels of interest in creative writing. You have some students who take the class because they really love it. You have other students who take it because they think it might be an easy A, or maybe they have some interest or something. There's all different levels. The creative writing classes curriculum would be based on the Common Core standards for 11th and 12th grades, with a key focus on literary standards 1112.3, 1112.4 through 6, and 1112.10. Those standards focused on writing routinely, editing, writing, and the technical writing aspects of creative writing. So that's anything from using metaphors, similes, comma placements, colons, any type of technical writing. With this, I plan on using a questionnaire, observations, interviews, and rubrics that were used to grade past essays. Okay. For data collection, students will share their warm-ups in class every day. Warm-ups usually revolve around some type of a skill. So, like I said, that would be like if we did a lesson on semicolons, the warm-up would be a fun thing of creating a couple sentences using semicolons, and maybe go something more specific, like you have to make a joke or tell about your day or something, anything that can get them creatively using that. And then they'll share that with the class. It's a fun time. Jokes get had. There will be 3 written works that they will produce during the year that I will use a rubric to grade and notice any signs of improvement. I will use surveys with number values to collect data given at the beginning and end of the semester. I would also interview the students, going over some of the answers to the survey to get more detail and insight into why they feel the way they do. And then my main goal is to try to triangulate data as mentioned by Merler 2019 to make analysis of data easier and provide more validity. Since I'm collecting qualitative data, I will start with inductive reasoning by noting any patterns in the data, formulating questions of interest, and developing conclusions and theories. I would start with going over the observations from class first while looking for improvements in confidence. Really improvements all around, anything you see or notice, like if you see that positive impact, noting that. maybe a student comes up and tells you, how much they love the class, what it means. The next data I would grab is the questionnaire, where they provide a number as an answer to one of the questions, such as like how confident are you in your writing, anything of that sort. That goes down, gives a numerical value that they'll get one in the beginning of the year and the end of the year. We'll be able to see in their eyes that growth, and then along with the interview to talk about it, we'll be able to see why they feel they grew or didn't grow in those areas and what helped them the most. Sorry, you talked about the interviews. The more patterns I have before the interviews, the better it'll be, because I can get strong qualitative data from them revolving around those patterns. I can make my questions to them more revolve around that, so that I'm not wasting time asking questions that aren't going to help. Lastly, I will be analyzing the rubrics from the writings to show improvement. This is where rubrics come in handy, because I can easily identify what sections from the rubrics they improved the most on. That I also want to see which in the class did everyone improve on. So whether it was just the most amount of students who improved on it, didn't have to be that there was a big improvement. And I also want to take a look at students' individual improvements and where their biggest growths were at. And in the interview process, see what they felt was effective in getting them to grow in those areas. And then here's my list of references.